Hi, this is Steven. Welcome. Today we're going to talk about tritone substitution. It can be a difficult to understand aspect of jazz and definitely a difficult aspect to get under your fingers. So I'm going to try to teach you to do both. The first thing to know is every dominant chord has root, major third, and minor seven. So in the case of C, root, major third, minor seven. So I'm always gonna play some aspect of that in jazz when I see that chord C7. But what makes that C7 magical, one of the things, is the fact that that major third and minor seventh is also shared by one other bass note's third and seventh. So here's an example. C7, root, major third, minor seven. If I go to another bass note, leave these two notes alone, which the other bass note would be F sharp, also known as G flat. So the G flat, or enharmonically the F sharp, also shares that same third and seventh. However, it is already inverted just by changing the bass note. Let me show you what that is. So F sharp to E, which I didn't change the note at all, is now the seventh of F sharp. And it's B flat from the C, now an A sharp, B flat, A sharp, B flat, same thing. The F sharp to the A sharp, same note, is the major third of the chord. So, once again, I'm keeping these two notes the same. E, B flat. And if I play it like this with an F sharp, then it becomes F sharp, minor seven is E, major third is A sharp. Keep those two notes and new bass note. Major third, E, minor seven, B flat. As you can see, I'm purposely going slow here so you can comprehend it. I'm not going to buzz through this like other instructors do online. 100% of the time that you see a C7 chord written in any piece of jazz music, you can substitute an F sharp 7 chord for it. Alright, so let's talk about some things about this. The bass note C to the bass note F sharp, it exactly splits the keyboard into half the octave. Watch, if I go up from C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm at F sharp. Okay? If I go up from F sharp, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, half steps, that's back to a C. So this is an exact symmetrical split of the octaves. C, F sharp, C, F sharp, C, F sharp. Same thing. I'm splitting the octave in exact 6 half steps apiece. So, why is this called a tritone if there's 6? Well, 6 half steps is 3 whole steps. So, the same split happens if you think of it in whole steps. So it goes C, D, E, F sharp. That's 3 steps, 3 tones, 3 tritone. Okay? I'm at a F sharp. Whole step, whole step, whole step. I'm at C. So when we talk about tritone substitution, the name of it is named after 3 whole steps substitution. So every single tritone chord is going to be 3 whole steps away from its mirror image. It's not a true mirror image, but it's pretty close. All right, what does this mean for us? It means functionally, anytime we see a C7 chord, we can use an F sharp 7 chord instead if we want, and it opens up our tonality really cool. Okay? So now, here's a little aspect about it. The C7, E, B flat, because the major third and minor 7 of C7 is also a tritone. If you count up from E, starting note, 1, 2, 3, whole steps, it's the same exact thing. It's an exact split of the keyboard. So now, just by playing this E to this B flat in my left hand, I'm actually learning the tritone substitution. So truly playing any dominant sounding chord, just the 3rd and 7th, just the shell voicing as some people call it, that's learning the tritone substitution. And a lot of times we just learn through frequency as players. So if we're just moving up like this, that's one way to learn the tritone substitution. It's just to really clue into the fact that all of these movements is a tritone away from each other. Okay? So that's the first exercise that I would suggest doing, is actually going, and I want you to use 2 and 5, these 2 fingers. The reason we're using 2 of 5 specifically is we're going to learn how it's going to naturally play on the fingers. So E and B flat, just do it with 2 and 5. Don't use any other fingerings. Don't do 5 and 1, the thumb, these 2. Because when I put down other notes of the chord, whatever I choose, it's still going to be 2 and 5 on the 3rd and 7th. Same 3rd and 7th. Same 3rd and 7th. Same 3rd and 7th. Same 3rd and 7th, okay? So I'm not changing, I'm just changing color tones. I'm not changing the structure tones, which is the 2 and 5. That's already going to get you a bump up in terms of learning these. Okay, so there's a couple different things. Now that you kind of know about the tritone substitution, how do you put it under your fingers? Because you can theoretically know, okay, great, I know what that is. I know that you're saying that anytime I see an F sharp 7, I can use a C7 theoretically. But how do I actually get it under my fingers? How do I learn this thing? Well, here's one thing I did. So there's a couple scales involved in this, but I think more practical is chord voicings. So I want to take a C7. We're going to stick with C7 for right now. And then we're going to go up a tritone, which is to the F sharp. And then we're going to start a major chord on that. Now, this is going to be a weird sound to your ears out of context because there's nothing really telling us where this is going to go. And the best way that the tritone functions, or the dominant 7th chord function, is going somewhere else. Yes, we can sit on it for a while, but if we're putting all kinds of alterations in it, which is what this is doing, it's going to want to go somewhere else. Good example of that is going C, E, B flat, put an F sharp major chord over it, F sharp major triad, okay? That's going to sound really good if you then resolve it to an F minor, which is a 5th down. Okay? Great sound. Let me do an A flat over it. And there's a resolution of that. Also to an F minor. You're going, where did I get the A flat? All right, we're not going there yet. So here's the 2 chords I want you to practice with it. You go up to the F sharp, play that major chord, and then go up to the A flat, which is a whole step above. Play that chord. Right now you're not going to see that relationship. You're going to go like, well, why is the A flat coupled with that if you've never done this before? But the F sharp and the A flat, real easy. Just F sharp major, A flat major, both happening over a C7. Okay? F sharp is the tritone. A flat is a whole step up from the tritone. Okay? Let's see why you're going to use these 2. These are the altered, what we call altered dominants. So, already in my mind, I'm playing a C7, bass, major 3rd, 7th, and then I'm in my right hand, I'm playing an F sharp major. So my brain's already marrying the 2. My brain's going, oh, F sharp somehow equals C7. Well, They exactly equal each other because they're the tritone substitution of each other. So just by putting that in my mind and going, I know what an F sharp major chord is, and I know what a C7, just the shell voicing C, E, B flat is, I've got those kind of married in my head on both sides of the brain. So then I can go up arpeggios from there. I can go strict inversions, F sharp first inversion, F sharp second inversion, back home, F sharp root position, F sharp first inversion, F sharp second inversion, okay? And then back down, all the different inversions, right? Now, let's unpack what these actually give you. So compared to a C7, what this gives me if I play an F sharp is the flat 5. If I play an A sharp, also equivalent to B flat, it's just a reiteration of the minor 7. If I play a C sharp, also known as a D flat, it's a flat 9 on the C7 chord. So just by giving me an F sharp major chord over a C7 shell voicing, root 3rd 7th, I'm giving myself a really nice C7 flat 5 flat 9, which a lot of times big band charts call for that, or also if it says altered chord, altered dominant, this is one way to play the altered dominant. Okay, here's why I moved to the A flat. F sharp, A flat. All it is a whole step away from each other. Okay? Now, the A flat, if I use an A flat chord, and I'm going to arpeggiate this all the way up again before I used inversion. So A flat, C, E flat. And then just do the next inversion of that. A flat chord, first inversion. There we go. Second inversion of the A flat chord. We're kind of ignoring the C7 underneath. It's there, it's the true tonality of it, but we're just thinking upper structure triad of these chords. So A flat, A flat, A flat, A flat major. I'm not changing it at all, I'm just going up. So we go A flat, arpeggio now. Same chord, A flat major, A flat major, A flat major, A flat major, A flat major. All the way up and down. Again, your ear might go, wow, that's a funny sound, but it's great if I do that and then go resolve it to an F minor. And you've got a beautiful tension and resolution thing happening. Let's analyze what the A flat is over the C7. So you've got the A flat over a C7 comparatively is your sharp 5. The C is just the root of the chord, it's a C chord. And then the E flat is a sharp 9, okay? Sharp 9 over C. So, by playing an A flat major arpeggio in any inversion, chord inversion, first inversion, second inversion, root position, or just playing it as an arpeggiation, actually, I've got all the sharp 5, sharp 9, which is the other way, the other main way to alter a dominant chord. So now you got your altered dominants. And at any point you see that in the music and you're like, okay, I happen to see a C7 altered dominant. Just, the real book will say C7 alt. You can play either one of them. That's C7, altered dominant, going to F minor. Here it is in a chord progression. It might be G minor 7, flat 5. And then here's the F sharp over C. Altered dominant. F minor. That's a 2-5-1 in F minor. Here's using the C7 with the A flat over it. I actually prefer this sound, but they're both cool. So here's going to the F minor. Here is the A flat major chord over the C7. Let's put it in that context of the 2-5-1. G minor 7 flat 5. 2, 5. Now I just went down an A flat triad. A flat, A flat, A flat. I'm not you know, thinking complexly like, oh, sharp 5, sharp 9, sharp 5, sharp 9. I got the root in there somewhere. Not doing that mental energy. I'm just doing major chords. You know, and so now I'm doing a F minor, and I threw some G minor on top of that as well. Different subject. We're just working with the tritone chords at this point. But that's the sound, and it's beautiful. So once again, how do you couple the F sharp with, F sharp and A flat together with that C7? So it is tritone substitution. That F sharp is the chord you would substitute for the C7, as I told you earlier. So already, just by doing those alterations, you're coupling that concept of F sharp is equal to C. Here's the cool thing about it. Let's go back to C. Forget all the alterations. Let's just say I have a C chord that I want to play in jazz. And I don't really want to alter it. It doesn't, you know, I don't want that minor sounding like that. I don't want it to be that dissonant. Well, instead, go to the C7 and play a C chord over it. Everybody knows a C chord works great over a C7. Of course it does, right? Yeah, it's not as jazzy, but it's root 3rd, 5th, 3rd, 5th root, right? So you can do that. Now, the next cooler, a little cooler thing, though, C is very melodic, but this is cooler, is to go up a whole step to D. Oh, okay. Now what did you just do there? Well, now that I went a D chord, D major chord, both major chords. If I do a D major chord over C7, haven't changed this chord at all. Now I've got 9 compared to C. I've got 9, sharp 11, 13. I can also arpeggiate this. I keep calling them arpeggios. They're inversions, but I just think of them as the same. So I can invert this, try to be accurate. Right? If I break it up, right? So either arpeggiating or inverting the chords, it's really the same thing. You can do it any way you want. You can break it up like partial. I like doing this. Right? So just doing that with C. Okay? Kind of just the vanilla sound, and then now you got the chocolate. It's beautiful, right? A little more exotic sound with the just going C to D, 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 C to D. Arpeggiations of the same concept, right? Now you get way more exotic. You're gonna go into that minor sound. C to D is up a whole step from each other, right? C, up a whole step. C, up a whole step in terms of the chord you're thinking. Well, go to the tritone, F sharp, up a whole step compared to what you're thinking. Now you are creating this bridge between these triad pairs. You're still using the C7 down here, just the shell voicing, C major 3rd, minor 7, but you're going, okay, root of the chord, C, up a whole step, D, tritone, F sharp, up a whole step, A flat, okay? Now, that's the concept all over C7. We haven't even changed necessarily to the tritone substitution, but let me show you what happens when you do that. So we're going to flip to the tritone. All I'm going to do is change the bass. So right here, the 3rd and the 7th is going to be exactly the same. It's going to stay the same. I'm going to drop down the bass to an F sharp, okay? And then everything I said about the C7 is exactly the same over the F sharp. I don't have to learn anything new. Now, this is going to be a stretch, so wow, that's a long stretch, okay? Got the F sharp down here, and thank goodness my hand's big enough, barely, to hit a C, E, in this case, A sharp, but B flat, same thing, who cares? The bass player is going to usually do this note, all right? So I'm not going to worry about that as much if it keeps slipping off. You could maybe go to here, but I don't know. I'd rather hear it down here, mixing up the 3rd. So once again, the F sharp to E is the 7th F sharp to A sharp is the third, okay? Now, I've got the same pairings. F sharp, root third fifth. Go up one whole step to A flat, or also known as G sharp in this case, G sharp major. Most people think of it as A flat anyway. So now I've got all those arpeggios and inversions. F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, F sharp. Back down. A flat. Wow, isn't that cool, right? So that's on the F sharp to A flat, that's concept of 9, sharp 11, 13. Here's root third fifth, here's 9, sharp 11, 13. And now I can arpeggiate them. Etching on my brain once again that there's an equivalency on the F sharp underneath with F sharp and A flat. But how do I transmit to the flat 5, flat 9, sharp 5, sharp 9? C to D. Oh my goodness. And if you haven't seen it before, you go, wait a minute. Wow, that clicks in as those 4 chords connect again in the opposite way. Now when I hit the C, I'm creating, since my bass is F sharp, I'm creating a flat 5, flat 9 automatically on the F sharp. Just by going C major chord. If I go to a D chord, and I'm going inversions of that, I've got the sharp 5, sharp 9s, as well as a added bonus root thrown in there. You can take or leave it, but it's easier to think of the D major with that root in there. So, and then I just practice that. Practice the sound. And in this case, since we're now, F sharp is the 5 chord of B minor or B, but in this case, B minor. Resolve it every now and then to B minor. So I'm fooling around on the C. I kind of dropped the third because it's a stretch. It's ruining my hand. But there's the third. And then I'm just fooling around on... Yeah, I'm just fooling around on the C major chord, D chord, and I'm going along. So, that's the concept. That's sort of, it's not everything you need to know about the tritone, but it's definitely the way to really marry it in your brain. But you got to do some work with it now at this point and say, how do I... Oh, okay. Yeah, I got them all. It's just C, D, F sharp, A flat. As long as you know where you're at and know which ones work as a as the altered tones and which ones work more like, okay, I'm just playing in C over C7, then you're cool. And we're not even onto a scale yet, right? This is all just arpeggiation. And I think the arpeggiation and the chord inversions are the way to really etch this in your brain and go like, what is that equivalency? Now that's for one key, actually technically 2 keys, is for C7 and F sharp 7, working towards the key of B minor 7 or F minor 7. And yes, you can use these concepts over major as well. So you use the tritone concept, the dominance, and you can certainly resolve to an F major, okay? So here's the sound if I use flat 5, flat 9, sharp 5, sharp 9. It just fools the ear a little bit. You think it's probably going to resolve more towards F minor, but you can absolutely. Jazz loves fooling ears. So, in fact, in some ways it propels you. It sounds really super rich because you're not expecting the F major as much. That's the concept. Now we're gonna do a practice run at it.